The Zephyrian High Command had spent 3 cycles studying the species they designated as Target 7439, the blue-green world in the outer spiral arm seemed defenseless. Enough, a young civilization barely reaching, beyond their own moon, fragmented into competing nation-states, constantly warring among themselves. Perfect for harvesting, Commander Zexhai flexed his forearms as he reviewed the invasion protocols one final time. Primitive projectile weapons, crude atomic devices, and they can't even agree on a single planetary government. He chittered to his subordinates. This will be over before their sun sets twice. The first wave materialized in Earth's atmosphere exactly at 14:01 Greenwich Mean Time, their cloaking technology shimmering away to reveal 1,000 sleek vessels hanging over major population centers. The psychological impact was calculated to be devastating. Entire populations would surrender within hours. Instead, something unprecedented happened. In Moscow, General Petrov put down his vodka and smiled for the first time in months. Finally, something interesting. At the Pentagon, Admiral Chen canceled her retirement party. Looks like we're back in business, people. In Mumbai, Colonel Singh watched the alien craft hover over the city and immediately called his opposite number in Islamabad. Raj here. I know we were shooting at each other yesterday, but fancy a temporary ceasefire? We've got bigger fish to fry. The response from Pakistan came within minutes. Thought you'd never ask. Across the globe, the pattern repeated. Ancient enemies set aside their differences with the casual ease of schoolchildren, forgetting a playground argument. Weapons that had been pointed at each other for decades swiveled skyward. Nuclear submarines surfaced in coordinated formations. Stealth aircraft that had been state secrets were suddenly sharing airspace with their supposed adversaries. Zexhai watched the readouts with growing confusion. Why aren't they panicking? Why aren't they fleeing? His intelligence officer's voice carried a tremor. Sir, they're organizing. Every military installation on the planet just went to maximum alert, but they're not targeting each other anymore. They're targeting us. The humans' first response came in the form of a transmission broadcast on every frequency simultaneously. The voice was calm, almost cheerful, with what sounded suspiciously like amusement. Unknown vessels, this is Earth Defense Command. Welcome to our neighborhood. You've just done something remarkable. You've united our entire species for the first time in recorded history. We'd like to thank you for that. Now you have 60 seconds to identify yourselves and state your intentions, or we're going to assume they're hostile. Fair warning. We've been practicing warfare on each other for about 10,000 years. You might want to consider this carefully. Zexhai's tactical display lit up like a festival. Every major city on the planet was revealing hidden weapon installations. Satellites he dismissed as primitive communication devices were repositioning themselves with suspicious precision, and those crude atomic devices were apparently far more numerous than his scouts had reported. Perhaps they're bluffing, suggested his weapons officer. Surely they wouldn't. The sentence was cut short as the ISS Harmony, previously identified as a simple research station, unfolded like a metallic flower to reveal weapon systems that shouldn't have existed. Railguns emerged from camouflaged positions on 6 continents. Aircraft that had been sitting peacefully at air bases launched in coordinated waves, their weapons hot and targeting solutions locked. But it was the submarines that truly caught Zexhai's attention. Dozens of vessels he'd never even detected were surfacing in perfect formation, their missile tubes opening like dark flowers. The human transmission came again, and this time Zexhai could definitely hear laughter in the background. Okay, time's up. You know, it's funny. We spend so much time fighting each other that we sometimes forget how good we've gotten at it. Thanks for reminding us. Consider this a practical examination of our capabilities. What followed wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration. The humans didn't just defend. They performed. Each weapon system activated with theatrical precision. The railguns fired in sequence, creating a light show visible from orbit. Missiles launched in synchronized volleys that spelled out words in contrails, words that Zexhai's translator rendered as profane suggestions about the Zephyrian ancestry. But beneath the showmanship was something that made Zexhai's blood run cold. Perfect coordination. These weren't the actions of a fractured species learning to work together. This was the precision of a war machine that had been honed through millennia of constant conflict. His fleet lasted exactly 17 minutes. As Zexhai's command ship limped away, one of only 3 vessels to escape the systematic dismantling of his invasion force, He found himself listening to a final human transmission. "Tell you what," the voice said, and Zexhai was amazed to detect what seemed to be genuine friendliness beneath the words. "If you want to come back and try again sometime, feel free. We could use the practice. But next time, maybe lead with diplomacy. We're actually pretty reasonable when we're not being invaded. And just so you know, we've got a few more tricks we didn't even bother showing you today." Zexhai believed them. As his damaged ship jumped to hyperspace, he began composing his report to the High Command. It would be brief. Target 7439 has been reclassified. Recommend immediate elevation to galactic threat level maximum. Do not engage under any circumstances. In the report's footnotes, he added a personal observation that would become legendary among Zephyrian strategists. They have been training for this their entire species' history. Every war they fought against each other was merely preparation for fighting us. And they enjoyed it. Back on Earth, the cleanup was already beginning. Weapons systems folded back into concealment, submarines slipped beneath the waves, and aircraft returned to their bases. The temporary unity would probably last another few hours before old grudges resurfaced, but that was fine. After all, they'd proven they could set aside their differences when it really mattered. And besides, as General Petrov noted while raising his vodka in a toast, it's not practice if you don't have a proper opponent. The stars, it seemed, had finally provided one worth practicing against.